Danhausen. That is your mystery box person. Danhausen. Supposedly, this guy is some jobber from AEW. I have no clue who this is. It was horrible. You know, everyone. This reminds me of the Star Wars Your Snoke's Theory Sucks. That's really what it is at this point. Your Snoke Theory Sucks. And it's this jobber. Your jobber theory sucks. That's basically what this is. Now this is what I thought. I thought when I first saw this guy come out the box, I was like, what the hell? You know, this sucks. You got zero pop. And I was like, okay, you know, they're going to make up for this. This was a throwaway surprise. You know, I was like, okay, Triple H, you know, this is a throwaway surprise. You know, get this guy not over, but, you know, do this little showcase thing and, you know, have fun with this. And later in the night, we're going to get either the mystery guy reveal to be Seth Rollins, which we already knew, but you would get your mystery guy reveal, plus maybe you would have Chris Jericho or somebody come back. You know, Kevin Owens or somebody. You know, you would have got something that would have left on like a cliffhanger. You know, we all expected Seth Rollins to be the masked guy. Like we just expected that. So that would have been a nice little, like, oh, we already knew this. Like, okay, we were right about that. But, man, we would have thought we would have got something. Maybe not a Roman, you know, just something. You know, anything. But Triple H gave us, what his name, Danhausen or whatever. You know, some goofy vampire jobber. Like, I actually can't believe they pulled this jobber move, man. Oh my goodness. Like, they really pulled this, you know. Man, you have, I don't know what to say. I think this guy is going straight to SmackDown. You know, I mean, I thought maybe, hey, you know, maybe they were revealing these masked men to be a new vision or something. Like, I have no clue. But for Triple H to pull this nonsense in a box stunt, and you have people that paid, you know, $600 tickets, and they might have brought 4 and went into debt. Like, you got to really think about it. No one just has like 4 or 5 grand in their bank account that's WWE's really demographic. So they're probably doing, you know, Klarna and PayPal, pay later type stuff. You know, they spending like $3 grand on tickets to watch this garbage. Man, and then the crazy part, the women's Elimination Chamber was better than the men's. You know, you had Logan Paul kind of showing off, you know, which, I mean, we good at Randy Orton won, but, I mean, man, this was horrible. You know, I like, how do you be a ruthless aggression wrestler and your mentor was Triple H, and this is what WWE's come to? Like, you got to really think about it. Drew, Cody, Randy, you know, they all were young in WWE. You know, Drew kicked off later in life. Cody kicked off later in life. Randy was kind of always in that top spot, you know, through nepotism. But hey, he had some good character development. And this is what you're left with. You know, shout out to Javon Evans. Shout out to Trick. You know, for their first Elimination Chamber, that was fine. But Elimination Chamber isn't even Elimination Chamber. Like, the true Elimination Chamber is like with HBK. You know, the plexiglass not even breaking. You know, it's just moving out the way. It's breakaway. It doesn't have that busted glass effect. You know, you could just use sugar glass. But no, they don't want to do that. You know, I don't know. Like, I really don't want to give a review on this garbage. You know, just to let you know, we got Rhea versus Jade, and Jade better win at WrestleMania. You know, if you want to build Jade up, Rhea cannot win at WrestleMania. You know, Rhea, everyone knew Rhea was winning. I really didn't want Rhea to win. I'm fine with Rhea winning, but everyone knew Rhea was going to win. You know, she's Triple H favorite. I don't care whether she's Triple H favorite or not. You know, Rhea, I don't know. Jade needs this character development, and she needs to beat Rhea. But they're going to try to make Rhea the one that say, hey, I'll put you back in your place. You know, but I wouldn't do it. I would build Jade up, undefeated streak until Bianca comes back. Next, I skipped through AJ Lee's and Becky Lynch match. Like, I mean, it was okay to see AJ Lee. She still got some moves. Not, you know, what is there to say? Like, really, I can't find the words for this nonsense. You know, it was okay seeing AJ Lee. It was fine. I grew up watching AJ Lee. It was I don't even want to say an okay match. It was just, I'm just glad they got to the finish line the way they did. You know, we would care more if the story was better. Because AJ Lee, she can wrestle. Becky Lynch can wrestle. There's just zero storyline here. You know, then you get Finn Balor and CM Punk. Oh my goodness. The holds. You know, they wrestle so slow in the beginning, and they're just doing slaps to their abdomen, and man, like, you can literally skip the first 10 minutes of that match, and then they started ramping stuff up. I mean, I get go slow, but they really, if you watch this match and you needed it to drag out, I get that's what they were doing. They did it well, but too well. I mean, they started slow and they built it up. And I guess that's what they were going for. They did it. You know, they stretched in the beginning. They did their little slaps. CM Punk can sell. You know, Finn Balor, he can sell good. Overall, you know, it's not a 10 out of 10 match. You know, they didn't do nothing too crazy because, you know, CM Punk got to make it to WrestleMania. But You know, I wish we could have got Finn Balor versus CM Punk, you know, no holds bar or something like that. Like something where they could have really went all out. But this I mean, the women's elimination chamber match, that might have been the best match on the card, but this match here, for what it was, second best. Then the men's elimination chamber is like, okay, you guys are men. You're in the elimination chamber. The best highlight was Javon Evans hitting the frog splash that he landed on his feet on Trick Williams. And then the RKOs. That's it. You know, good night. Oh, and then your mystery guy, Seth Rollins, that we already knew, then throwing your mystery box, Danhausen or whatever, you know, $3,000 tickets. Then the attendance record, they broke records. They were proud to announce the attendance that they gave away free. So, you know, whatever. You know, WrestleMania is going to suck. You know, you're going to get Obafemi. He's going to answer that challenge with Brock Lesnar. So be prepared for Brock Lesnar versus Obafemi. Brock Lesnar should say no, book me better. Because Brock Lesnar versus Obafemi in an open challenge is not good. Obafemi and Brock Lesnar in a compelling story makes history. No one cares about Obafemi versus Brock Lesnar in an open challenge. Obafemi versus Brock Lesnar for a title or something, you know, makes for a compelling story. Why don't you just have Brock Lesnar and Obafemi, you know, I don't know how to get there. I mean, that's the point of creative. They're creative. Create a nice story. Stop going this route of this open challenge nonsense. You know? And stop putting heels versus heels and baby faces versus baby faces. You know? Stop not putting the U.S. Championship on PLEs. The Intercontinental Championship belongs on PLEs. The U.S. title belongs on PLEs. Like, I don't know what they're doing. Like, why was Penta not in Elimination Chamber? You know, like, I mean, y'all signed Penta. He was the hottest signee, and Lord, LA Knight just botched his top rope finisher. You know, LA Knight is done. You know, after that botch, I think LA Knight is done. LA Knight and Bayley might as well go to AEW. You know, they might as well live out the rest of their careers, do a 5-year-long run in AEW and retire. You know, I would love for Bayley and LA Knight to go to AEW and bring them so many ratings. Like, they need to go and do that. You know, I'm so sick of watching this garbage. But you know, we love wrestling, but we gotta watch this garbage from Triple H. You know, I'm a end this video right here because it's at this point it's just rambling about how garbage this is. But your crate theory sucks. Your Snoke theory sucks. Elimination Chamber sucked. All of 2025 pretty much sucked. You know, like I said, the best last storyline WWE had wasn't the Cena storyline. It was Naomi, Jade, and Bianca. And you see what Triple H did with that. So peace out. Y'all like, comment, and subscribe.